get started. First of all, welcome. Welcome to this day, to Lehman's campus. How many for you is this your first time on Lehman's campus? Awesome. Did you find it okay?
Yeah.
There's some yeses and maybes. I don't want to talk about it. Well, you're here and we're happy you're here. This particular presentation you've decided to join, we're grateful for it. It's Cultivating AI Fluency and how students and professors can work together to incorporate AI into student learning and to professors teaching. We're going to share some practical strategies with you today and a little bit about our journey and how we got here. So to introduce myself, my name is Danna Ethan. I'm a professor of health education and promotion at Lehman College. And my department is health promotion and nutrition sciences. And I've been here for, welcome, I've been here for 16 years as a professor. And before that, 6 years at BMCC, also as a professor. So I'm really happy to be here today. And I want to introduce you to my co-collaborator, Jesus Estrada.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Jesus. I am a graduating senior from graduating senior from the Health Education and Promotion program here at Lehman. I was a transfer student and I've been here for 2 years. It's been a great journey and I'm very excited for this presentation. So this is what we will cover today. It will be very exciting. We will be checking in how we're feeling about AI, how we have been using this tool, our mutual concerns, also how we are using this as a learning tool, but also for workforce experience and readiness. What our experience has been throughout this project, this joint project between students and professors collaborating to develop this new course, and also what you can take away from this. What are some strategies, some wins and watchouts, as we call them, that you can also take away for your classroom. And at the end, we'll see some actionable steps and we will demo some of our tools that we've been working with this whole semester.
So just a little bit about how we got here together. It's been quite a journey. Jesus expressed an interest in teaching in higher ed. And as a professor, that's something that is one of our callings, right, is to be mentors to those who are interested in doing this as well. And he's also deeply embedded in the work of community health in the Bronx. And that is what our program and majors are designed to do, is to prepare our students to be in community health in the Bronx and their communities. So we worked together last semester in the fall to design this course called Health Communication and Advocacy. It's a core course for our undergraduate students. We got to do this through a 3-credit independent study, so he got to earn credits for his work. And then also to this semester to implement the course and to work together in teaching it, designing the lessons, teaching them, and assessing them. Ironically, our classroom is right across the way, so we're very familiar with this space, and it's been a real pleasure. So we also complement each other very well. I bring my strengths of higher ed teaching, 20 years worth, plus nonprofit work before that. Jesus, where do you chip in?
Yeah, I have been working for the past 3 years in community health. I implement an HIV prevention program in the Bronx. I have learned a lot about community health and the health issues that affect the Bronx. So I want to bring that to Lehman College. Throughout my years here, I discovered this need for teaching the next generation of health educators, and that's what I want to be my legacy to be. I want to give back to the Lehman community because I see the potential in my fellow students. So I want to bring back what I learned in the field into the classroom so that we can educate better and stronger health educators.
So we have shared strengths and we have shared values, and it's really made for a very enriching partnership throughout this journey together. So just a little footnote about terms used.
That's right. The term AI is technically an umbrella term. It is used to encompass a lot of different technologies. But the term that we will be using today is of generative AI, which means technology that uses LLM or large language models to generate text, image, or audio, right? So this is the AI that we will be referring today throughout this presentation.
Maybe you've heard of ChatGPT. That is an example of generative AI. And so the tools that we'll be introducing you two today are examples of generative AI apps and platforms. So in terms of AI literacy, I know if you kind of get embedded in the literature and the substacks and all that, there is no one definition of AI literacy or official term, right? There's no agreed upon criteria that is AI literacy, and some groups get their feathers ruffled about the term and even just saying AI literacy. So for the purpose of how we think about it, kind of like the term AI fluency, to become fluent in AI related tools and uses. But we did base our design of this course and using AI in the course on this particular model or framework that just appealed to us and spoke to us in terms of what, we would want students to walk away with after taking this class. And soon enough, hopefully, over time, the curriculum here at Lehman in our department. So in terms of maybe you just want to take a quick look, and hopefully they'll have access to these slides if you want to take a look at it on your own. But not only data literacy, but also just knowing which AI tool to use when. I mean, it's a rapid growth in the field itself. Some of the AI apps that we selected for use in this class are already obsolete. So you're really keeping up, but barely, scratching the surface, really. And just being able to converse, so to speak, with AI systems, creating content that is, unbiased and ethical and follows all the guidelines around creating content, safety, so important, problem solving, and career competencies. So that is really the framework that we used around AI fluency that to guide our AI tools.
Right.
So now professors are on what I like to think and students on a diffusion of innovation model where we all land somewhere in terms of how we use and think about AI in education. So what I like to do now is in all my classes is have a frank conversation with students at the beginning of the semester, asking them how they use AI, do they use AI, what do they use it for, how do they feel about it, how do they think their professors feel about it, what are other professors' policies of AI use in the classroom. It is a very enlightening conversation once students realize that you're not trying to bust them. So it's a really unique moment in time that we're all in. We are all on the ground floor of how this works. I hate to say it, but I'm saying it. Professors are not the experts in the room when it comes to AI and education. And I am okay saying that to my students. And so what I like to do is to address the elephant in the room and say, I use it too. And I'm putting on my assignments and syllabus and so forth when I'm using it and how, because I want to model for students it's okay to do that and you should cite your use of AI. So in Walking the Walk, these are the apps that we use to design this presentation, some of those that we'll be exploring today, and also used within the course that we co-designed as well.
So remember, we asked you to bring out your phone. We're going to do a little pulse check to see how we feel about AI. All right. So if you can go to menti.com, that is menti.com. And when you go to that website, please use this code and you will be able to put in what words make you feel and capture your reaction about the impact of AI in teaching and in learning. Right? What do we feel when we hear about AI and learning, AI and teaching, AI in higher education?
You can put in, I think, up to 5 words.
And that's right.
How you're
Yes.
feeling.
Yeah. Feelings, any reactions? How are we doing?
There we go.
Okay, we're getting there. We're getting our responses.
You have to zoom in.
And there's a lot going on. I don't
Sweet. 0, 5, 4.
There's a lot of big words in here, right? We have curious, we have excited, we have confused. Yeah, I feel that way too sometimes. We also have hopeful, we have helped, we have interested, but we also have cheating, prone to error, we have skeptical. Worried. All these reactions and feelings are valid because we as students are feeling them as well. This is uncharted territory and we're still trying to figure it out, how we can use it correctly. And hopefully we can bridge that gap from where we are right now and move from some of these words onto tool or workplace or skill.
Now, I too feel all of these things, and then some. So, but one of the words I didn't see up there is befuddled. A lot of times I feel befuddled, and I was curious how an image generating app might depict a befuddled professor. So I put a prompt in to these 3 separate AI image creating apps: Dolly, Dreamlab, and Pictochart. And you'll have these resources at the end if you want to try them. I've got the links and so forth. But here was my prompt, right? Create a cartoonish image of a befuddled professor reacting to the growing impact of Gen AI in teaching and learning. Now, let me ask you, can you imagine what kind of characteristics these image generators might have considered when they created the image of a befuddled professor? Anything come to mind of what they might have created?
Someone scratching their head.
Someone scratching their head?
An older person scratching their head.
An older person scratching their head.
Pulling the hair
Everyone
out.
scratching their head. Nutty professor.
Nutty professor?
Yeah.
Ah, nutty professor. So what is the image of a nutty professor?
It's the Eddie Murphy.
Is it
Eddie Murphy? Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Hey, well, might they have produced a female professor?
No,
Or
probably gonna be.
considering race or ethnicity or any of those other ones, maybe?
What do they come up with? Well, let's find out. Let's see.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
There you go. That's me, right?
Ah, but not really.
You look great.
But what's interesting is this is a fun activity to do with students because it does highlight the inherent bias that's built into AI generating so forth. So that is what's in a prompt as well. How do we write our prompts? So this is
The other thing I think about with AI is where were you when you realized what's going on with AI in education? That this is a turning point, a point of no return. A cataclysmic shift keeps coming to my mind because there's the before, and then there's that moment of realization, and then after. And this is where I was. This is an AI interpretation of me, but that is my nook in my dining room. Notice I've abandoned the ergonomic computer setup, and this is where I usually am. And that's when I realized, oh no. Was it an aha moment or an oh no moment? Initially, it was oh no. And I went through, how many stages of grief are there? 5, 7. I went through them all in a period of a couple days, doing a deep dive in anything I could read, listen to, and get my hands on. And I realized that I better do something. I wasn't quite sure what. So before I kind of share what we did, let me just quickly do an overview of how we're all thinking about it, zooming out. Institutionally, I see I have my provost sitting here. So make sure that I'm accurate here in the assumption or my research, but that there is a strategic shift happening even from year to year, even from last year to this year, where there is a surge in identifying and creating acceptable AI use policies. And that includes syllabus development and offering a buffet of different options for what professors can include in their syllabi. And that this is considered a strategic priority of most or the majority of institutions, higher ed, and also to prepare students for the future workplace. And it's really kind of already happening, right? Did I get that right, Provost? Thank you. So for workplace competencies.
Yeah, absolutely. I have seen at first hand how there needs to be an AI fluency and AI skill development in the workplace. As I mentioned before, I work at an HIV prevention program, and I work with a variety of healthcare providers, with community partners, and with other healthcare professionals to implement my program and to serve our community. And I do see the value of learning these AI literacy skills, these AI fluency skills, because it does help us not just do our job faster and better, but it also helps us use better resources when we have AI fluency skills. And this can be as simple as using AI to helping you develop health communications campaigns like we are doing with this course, without forgetting the human-centered lens, with that lens of empathy and compassion that has to be present in healthcare and in the healthcare field. And also, what can we do now in universities and colleges to prepare our students so that they can meet that demand and be more marketable? And say, I have these skills, I have them on my resume, and I can apply them in this way to better help my community. Not just to implement a program, but it is that translation of your skills into bettering your community. And I do see that value within my work. I do think that my fellow students can definitely benefit from having these AI fluency skills and become better health educators once they graduate.
Faculty perspectives and use. There's some hesitancy. We're not quite as excited as administrators, but we are using it, right? So 2/3 of us are using it, even more. But how are we using it? With administrative tasks and with curricular design thus far. But we're not quite confident, as you can see with this low number, we're not very confident in how to implement AI into our instruction. So that's what we decided to do as part of this course we designed. So in terms of our concerns, I heard some of those on our Mentimeter, but certainly cheating concerns, what we construe as cheating, and even that is a big conversation in itself.
erosion of skills and an over-reliance on these AI tools versus using our students using critical thinking. Information accuracy, because AI, if you might have heard or seen or experienced, can produce a lot of inaccurate information, outdated, biased, and misinformation, right? So that's a concern too, as well as ethical issues around data privacy, bias, and environmental impact. Every time I press click when I write a prompt in ChatGPT, it's a little dent in the environment. And so one thing I'm thinking about is trying to make my prompts as efficient as possible so that my personal effect on the environment is a little bit less. And that's something that we want to teach our students to do too. So really making that connection between protecting the environment and use of AI. And certainly pedagogical uncertainty. Oh, heck, are we supposed to do this with everything on our plates? Oh my gosh. It's been a long semester and it will continue to be.
So I get it. Hey, Sue, talk to us about students.
Like we said at the beginning, students are using it, right? I know that students are using it. Our research shows that over 2/3 of students in higher education are using them at least occasionally, a variety of AI tools, and that students report that they use it more than intent, right? So there is use of AI tools present at the moment. But there are some benefits and some watch-outs, right? There's a lot of benefits in terms of student use, like productivity and efficiency, being able to deliver assignments on time, being able to do research on time, being able to get better grades and to have more tools to study, right? Because it's not all about generating text or generating papers, but it's also how can you use this to study for other assignments and other classes that don't require you to submit papers. There's also a diverse learning needs. Some of these tools help people with learning disabilities or people that learn differently or people who do not speak English as their primary language. So this is also an opportunity to level the playing field, and students are benefiting from it. And at the same time, there are concerns. Right? There are concerns among faculty and administration, but also among the students. There is a lot of research on this already, where one of the top priorities is knowing the policy around AI within our institutions, within our workplaces, as well as considering this a shortcut to learning. That is another concern that students report, saying that, am I really learning if I'm reading through this? Right? Other concerns are, of course, plagiarism and cheating accusations. Right? Because it is hard to detect AI-generated text, but that is also a concern among students, and receiving misinformation, how to maximize these benefits. These are all concerns that students have and that I have seen firsthand. Last semester, I was working in a group project, and we needed to find some information on autism rates and autism signs and symptoms, very general stuff, right? It was just for an in-class assignment. It was really hard. So we were in class and I pulled out my laptop and I went to ChatGPT and I started that prompt. Could you provide some information about autism rates, autism signs and symptoms, and can you provide me sources? One of my fellow students was horrified by this. She said, "Oh my God, why are you using ChatGPT right now?" And I'm like, "Oh, so that we can advance and do this assignment." And she said, "But they're watching us." I was confused. I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You're connected to the Wi-Fi. They're gonna know that you're using ChatGPT within the college, right? They're gonna know that we're cheating in this assignment." And I was confused about who were they? Who's watching us? I have to explain to her, I'm like, no, that they can't see that we're accessing it, but nothing bad is gonna happen. It's not blocked. It is a tool. It's okay for now. We're not submitting anything. It's just for class discussion. It's okay. But she was nervous and terrified and appalled. And she said, "I want to use this, but not in school, right? Because I feel like people are observing us." So that is a sentiment that that I could understand. I understood where she was coming from, feeling surveilled, feeling like you're doing something wrong. To change that in a way that we can use this tool so that to benefit our learning and to benefit our class experience.
Jesus, we got 12 minutes.
Okay.
I've just been given the word.
All right.
We gotta move.
That's
So after all this, I came to my little moment here, and this is what I walked away with, which is that AI is not going anywhere, and that it's being used by students, but guess what? They're concerned too. And that we really need to keep human-centered learning and skills at the forefront. Policies matter. I need to find out what my institution expects of me as a professor, and I need to develop my own course policies on AI use in my classes. Practice, I got to rethink just about everything. And it's going to be a long haul, but I've got a lot of support here at Lehman College, and start small and start now. So what I did first, my first phone call was to my provost, and my provost is sitting here, Provost Silva Porras. Thank you so much for your support. And we sat together for an hour over coffee. Not great coffee. We might want to work on that. That aside, it was an enriching, nourishing conversation where he supported my desire to try something and not feel surveilled or in trouble myself. And he recommended a wonderful book that's on our resource list, as well as gave me some access to some sites to try some new things. So what are those new things? Well, we've got a couple new things to show you very quickly in these 11 and a half minutes. One of which is Hey Jen, and it's our friend Nick, who we introduced to our students on the first day of class, and he can tell us about the AI use in class.
Hello and welcome, students. In your health communication and advocacy course, you will incorporate AI into your learning. Before you start your journey, let me share some important notes about using AI in this class. The first and most important tip is this: use AI responsibly. The tools and skills you learn in this course should always be applied to enhance your own learning and growth, to benefit others, and minimize harm within and beyond the classroom. When you use AI to complete an assignment, you need to cite it. You may be asked to add a summary that explains how you used AI and what prompts you gave it. If you don't acknowledge using AI, you are engaging in academic dishonesty. Remember to cite AI when you use it. AI is a helpful co-pilot, but you're the one flying the plane. All submitted work must reflect your own critical thinking and understanding.
We could go on, or Nick could go on, I should say, but this was a great way to introduce our students not only to AI policies, but to the fact that Nick is an avatar. So that this created through Hey Jen. Thank you, Provost, for that introduction to Hey Jen, where we selected Nick. We selected Nick's voice. We uploaded the script, and Nick is now Nick telling us about AI policies. So this is a really interesting application that I'm just starting to figure out how to incorporate into my courses and can embed right into my Canvas slides or whatever I'm using up into Brightspace. Real quick,
Yes.
real quick.
So this is how we used ChatGPT for a prompt exercise during one of our first few classes for this new course that we designed. And we just wanted to gauge where the students' knowledge was, right? And we started something simple like, can you give us some examples of fun drinking games?
Well, let's give you some context.
Some
The
context.
course is on reducing binge drinking among students, where we are creating a health communication campaign around that and working with the Wellness Center director on developing this human-centered strategy. So we decided to teach students about the importance of the prompts that you write. So to gauge their knowledge of alcohol in general, we said, let's play a game about it. Let's put the prompt, come up with some fun drinking games, right? To test your knowledge. But of course, ChatGPT produced a bunch of drinking games, and we typically understand them. And this is an example to students. It's all in the prompt. It's how you write your prompt. When you do that prompt, you then get a bunch of really good information that you still want to make sure is accurate, updated, unbiased. And it allows you to explore the different resources and how to determine whether these are reliable resources. Again, all in the prompt, and then using that as a teaching and learning strategy. Notebook LM, raise your hand if you've heard of Notebook LM. For those of you who don't, you're welcome. This is going to be a fun one. Notebook LM synthesizes material that you upload to it and creates a podcast, a very realistic podcast based on the reading material that you upload. We'll play about 5 seconds of it so you can hear their voices.
You're here because you want to get smart, fast, bright, cut through the noise, understand what really matters.
And that's exactly what we're doing today.
We're diving deep into something pretty crucial, the 2025 U.S. Surgeon General's Advisory on Alcohol and Cancer Risk.
Now, interestingly, you can interact with the podcasters in real time, and you click on that. You can do this, certainly on your own. And what it will do, you can ask it a question, ask the podcast hosts, and they will answer in real time. Great question. Thank you so much, audience. And then they will answer the question. So that's something that students who are driving to work or taking the subway can listen to their readings on a podcast that they've uploaded for you. SciSpace.
Yes, SciSpace is a great tool for generating research briefs, and it allows you to do a deep review of literature that has been uploaded, and it provides you insights, it provides you with summaries, it provides with, of course, direct links to those articles. And we use this tool in our health communication campaign about alcohol use and binge drinking prevention.
So we also want to say that you can do a literature review through there, but they scrape only the papers that are not behind a paywall, right? So that's the wins and watchouts of introducing each AI tool to our students, what to remember about it, that you want to also use the library and our wonderful resources and human resources at the library. Obviously, assessing our tools, students' experience with it. After each tool, they fill out one of these questionnaires. So the wins and watchouts of doing this, it takes a lot of time, but it is worth it because we found that having a hybrid class allowed us to have a human-centered experience about using these tools and processing the use of those tools together. In terms of watchouts,
It definitely takes a lot of time, not just to work through assignments, but to learn the tools themselves. Some of them require a subscription fee. They can be expensive, but there are a lot of free resources as well. And also balancing the use of the AI with developing communication skills and literacy skills among the students.
Well, we've got a bunch more here, and I know we're out of time, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to provide our slides to the audience participants. But we have calls to action for both faculty and students. What is it you can do today? You've already started, you're here.
Yeah.
But starting small and addressing the elephant in the room with your students, have a conversation. It's an interesting one. And also maybe just commit to ongoing learning about this. We have some resources at the end and trying something small. So one last fun app that we just are nuts about, and this is called Suno. And Suno is a song generating app. And so, we've got a health communication campaign going here. So we got to make sure that the binge drinking awareness of Lehman students is going to hit home. They're going to know what it is they're, being aware of. Our students came up with a prompt. We put the prompt in like you would ChatGPT. They picked the genre. I didn't know what Dembo was. Thank you so much. But for this one, it's Afrobeat. And within 20 seconds, this song came up, and we'll leave you with this.
Late night lights, they blur and spin.
It's related to binge drinking awareness.
Or in trouble, but you call it gin.
Very much.
For coming today.
Thank you so much.
Chasing the high with your fan the fire. Sip slowly, don't keep your heart on. Go down and up, they don't know where you belong. Wrong streets, they talk like those still wrong.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi, this is Elise Good.